Okay.
Hello, Miss Kimberly. How are you doing?
I am doing great. And how are you?
Good. How's our boy Erik?
He is doing great. He's besides himself today. He's really excited. He says there's a lot of happy things going on. There's a new baby. That's a
Yay!
lucky baby.
Liam Nicholas Murphy. Welcome to our crazy family. Is that Irish enough for you? Liam Nicholas
Yeah.
Murphy. I love that name. Oh, man.
Yeah. He says him and all the little ones and the babies being born are really getting an opportunity that we never had in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Consciousness on the planet is increasing so much. It will be a lot easier for them to stay true to their spiritual paths than it was for us. So he's excited.
Good. All right. The topic of the day, Erik suggested, along with Ken, is how to get your power back. So many of us feel disempowered. For example, there might be, a spouse, a couple where one doesn't work, male or female, and the relationship is not working, but they feel disempowered because they can't financially support themselves. They can't get a divorce because they're afraid they'll be out on the streets, things like that. So sometimes I think that is a lesson in self-empowerment, a spiritual contract. So there are a lot of people who have been victims of heinous crimes that have lost their power and so on. The list is pretty much endless. So Erik, I'll let you start.
Well, and before anything, he has to tell you, I love you, Mom.
I love you. We always have to do that. I talked to you today with my dowsing rods.
Yep, you sure did, he said. So what he said, just to start by talking about how, before we've talked about third dimensional reality and fifth dimensional reality. And so he's saying third dimensional is really the ego, body, mind, and emotional body. And the fifth dimensional is our spiritual body and understandings. And so he's saying, prior to 1987, more people were polarized on the heavy side of duality, and it's been called like the service to self structure group, and it's controlled by ego and fear and that kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
And so all of us were born into this energy. And so he says, in that third dimensional reality, we created contracts for ourselves. We've taken vows, and we've also had these implied agreements with people of what they were to do for us, because it was known that this was going to be the lifetime where we were going to shift all this. It wasn't known how successful it was going to be, but he's saying we have shifted it. We are on the other side of this.
Good. Well, what happened in 1887? What was the
1987? That was the harmonic.
1987. Okay. Right. What happened?
So prior to that, there were more people polarized on the heavy side.
But was there an event that created that shift?
It was an energetic thing where enough people woke up so that the scales tipped and they.
Oh, okay. The critical mass, basically.
Right. The work that we've done since 1987 as humanity and a consciousness has increased it so that the service to others, the 5D reality, has a higher presence in this world.
Okay. Well, what is 5D reality anyway?
That,
4D, isn't that, is that like three-dimensional space plus time, or I don't even know what that is.
Well, your fourth dimension, that's the astral realm, and that's
okay.
Of the heart. But the astral realm can also, that's where you can come into contact with things like ghosts and maybe entities that aren't so good. And there's also positive in there, but that's kind of a murky area.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
So that is kind of that space in between, and that's the gateway that we're letting through spiritual insights into our reality.
Yeah, okay. And that you channel from the fifth dimension through the fourth to the third.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's the fifth dimension then?
Well, then the fifth dimensional or higher is your fifth dimensional is your blueprint. That's your throat chakra. Perception. is your sixth chakra, which is your third eye, and your crown chakra, which connects you to source.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we get insights from all of these. And so when you're living in a fifth dimensional reality, you're consciously aware of all these insights coming in. You're in tune and able to get in alignment with them.
Awesome.
You're living in third dimensional reality, you're not. And so some of the things, people who are polarized in third dimensional reality, that's why I typed all this information up. Him and Jay came through and they said, we got to cover all this. So when you're polarized on third dimensional reality or in third dimensional reality, that you believe there's a power outside of spirit, that other people are controlling your reality and that kind of thing, and your circumstances. They look for validation from others. They give their power away and others steal their power. They get their powerful feelings or holding on to their power by thinking it's the deeds they accomplish or the things that they do, where it's not. Your spirit just expands out from you when you're in fifth dimensional reality.
But is heaven, is the afterlife in the fifth dimension?
Yes.
Or some other, okay. All right.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's just another dimension. Yep.
Okay.
Fifth and higher, yes, is what it is. So then our fifth dimensional reality, as I said, is where we're able to see things from a higher perspective, a lighter perspective, and understand the bigger picture. You know you're connected to source. You receive insights and guidance from higher dimensions to ground into your physical reality. And you experience source through your existence. You're an emanation of love. You're no longer the seeker of it. Purpose is found from within. Validation from others. You're able to discern spirit and follow spirit without hesitation. They're authentic and in alignment with their truth. And when you're in your fifth dimensional reality, the vows, implied agreements, and limiting 3D contracts are no longer needed. They can actually, Eric's saying, when there was a contract that was created in third dimensional reality and you no longer need it, say you've learned the lesson, you don't need that contract anymore.
Well, are there contracts that you make in the third dimension? I thought that was like all between lives and the afterlife. You go to the guidance counselor and, okay, here's what I want to learn.
We made these contracts before we came into our lives.
But not in the third dimension, right, Eric? Or
no, we made them in the fifth dimension when we were in spirit
to
form.
and then when we honor them and the
played out into the third dimension.
I got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's how he says it.
Okay. Hey, is this channeled? What you're reading?
Yes, this is channeled information from Erik.
Okay.
He helped me put together. Yes,
okay.
Erik helped me put this all together. Yeah.
Good.
And so this will all be on the transmission, or the typed out version of this video. So what he's saying is that then there's this veil in between that prevents people from seeing into the fifth dimension.
Yeah, I hate that veil. You gotta rip it open. Let me give me some ethereal scissors. Click, 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 click.
And so he's saying, so now before we came into this lifetime, he said we may have contracted with certain people to push our buttons or help us with certain things we wanted to learn. So he's saying, and this would never happen, but he's saying, say I was one of those people who was supposed to push your buttons. I would keep pushing your buttons until you finally got it and started taking back your own power or whatever needed to be happen. Then that could fall away. But what he's saying is people, we're right in the middle of this ascension. Some people are really polarized in the heavy, dense polarization. Some are in the lighter, some are in the middle, some are here one day, there one day.
Yeah.
So people are still playing out these old 3D constructs that we built, even though they're not really needed. And so he's saying, like for instance, you had asked why people tended to betray you. You had all these people in your life.
Yeah.
Well, those were actually contracted. And he says the reason they're still playing out in some cases is because these people who are still playing them out don't have the same level of consciousness as you do. And this applies to other people as well. And so they're still letting this 3D programming run them.
Well, yeah, but it's on my side. I have got to, put a stop to it too. And that takes some sort of epiphany, like, okay, if people don't want my help, because it's usually people I help, then that's it. Just don't continue helping them. It's sad, but.
And Erik asked me, he said, please bring up this point with my mom. When you did your past life regression a few episodes ago, he said, have you had time to really reflect on that and think? Because if you look at it, Mom, when we died like that and you felt responsible for my death, that's why you carried that into this lifetime. It's like a bleed through where you want to help other people and be there for them so that nothing bad happens. You felt so responsible.
Yeah.
And so he's saying it really is time to be done with that contract. And he's saying, pretty much that's over for you, but it's just your perception that you don't quite realize it yet. He's saying, if you look at, he's saying there's been a lot of newer people brought into your life in the last few months. And he's saying these are people who are not going to betray you. That's over. But it's just old 3D programming.
Yeah, because I really do still love to help people, I just don't want to be stabbed in the back, but I get such a sense of fulfillment by helping people. But, I have to be careful, and this goes for some of the viewers, I'm sure, that there's helping and there's trying to fix. As a doctor, I'm always trying to fix people, fix their ailments, etc. And then they get this perception like, oh, I must be somebody who needs to be fixed. And that robs them of their power. That's very disempowering. So it's a fine line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying that is exactly true. And he's saying, yes, that's your nature to be helpful. And you are doing so many things to help so many people. Don't ever stop. But it's about learning how not to give your power away. And then he says, you're going to eventually get more discerning here. So you're going to just know, he said, like at the speed of light, don't get involved with that person.
Oh, okay.
They are on their own path. They're not ready for help.
Yeah.
They need to learn this lesson. He said, you'll just know.
Okay.
And so things will go much better.
Well, I want to say one thing, that this is a super, hate to interrupt, but this is such a super impactful thing here. The veil is held in place by the illusion that there is a power outside of self. It's your spirit that controls your reality and destiny. I love that. The illusion that there is a power outside of self. That's really awesome.
That is very powerful.
That is an illusion.
Right. And so
then scarcity is an illusion.
Exactly.
And separation is an illusion. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. If you keep looking at this, some of the behaviors he pointed out to us and seeing through the veil are judgment, unforgiveness, blame, regrets, fear, rationalizing, justifying, absolute denial, avoidance, projection, and then procrastination. I forgot to put that one on the list.
No, it's here.
Oh, I did? Okay. I guess I just don't have it on mine.
Okay.
So those polarized in service to self are going to show a lot of those kinds of behaviors. And he's saying that once you learn that and start altering your behavior and your perception, you just kind of naturally are able to see through the veil and shift into the fifth dimensional reality.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Naturally, yeah. Yeah, and I had a thought, and I've kind of lost what it was now here, but it'll come back to me a little bit later, but it's from this. So he's saying that so many people, what they don't understand is that if something has happened, say any person has had a argument with someone or some situation, they were harmed or whatever, a piece of their energy actually stays with them and with that other person in that situation until you reclaim it and take your power back.
Oh.
He's saying they're actually, you've heard the expression, someone has their hooks in you.
Yeah.
He said there's an actual, like an energetic line that runs from you to that situation or to that person. So one of the things he's going to do in our quantum technique we're going to do after this that he helped me write is we're going to break those energetic connections. We're not just from our loved ones or anything like that. We're just breaking that energetic connection so that we can be clear and sovereign in our own beings. Because otherwise, when we get to this person and that person and this dysfunctional situation that happened and this thing you're mad at, you're not very clear because part of your energy is still with that situation.
I've been in that situation before. I've been around energy vampires, and they just suck the emotional resources out of you.
Exactly.
But for example, you have an argument with somebody, I guess you can reclaim your energy by apologizing or acknowledging. You know, a lot of people keep arguing because they don't feel acknowledged, acknowledging that you understand their side or whatever. So, yeah.
And,
but,
and he also, he brings up too, it's just so important to stay in the moment. You have an argument with someone and you just say you're done and let it go. Well, a part of you is still there where you might want to consider saying something like, you know, that just doesn't quite sit right with me and I don't have the words to express it right now, but we'll talk later. Maybe we both need some distance or, you know.
Yeah.
But don't just ignore it and pretend like it didn't happen because you will lose power and give your power to that other person if you do that.
Sometimes just saying, you might be right. You're not saying they're right, but you might be right. That's a good way to sometimes end an argument and get your energy tucked in.
Exactly. And he's saying, you know, you can always, if someone's being unreasonable, you can always send them, you know, send them a little love and white light. And that does help them to start seeing the bigger picture and be more, you know, see the real man. Yeah. Yeah. So Erik and Jay spent a lot of time with me. I had a week off the week before this, and they helped me write actually 3 meditations. 2 we're going to do today. That we're going to imagine we go into a flower garden and we're going to use the bowls because we're going to come to different colors of flowers and matching our chakras and specific notes enhance and clear each chakra. So I'll be playing that note with my bowls while we're doing the meditation.
Okay, who is Jay? Who is Jay, by the way? Sorry about that.
My twin flame.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I should actually go back. We talked about him in the first episode. Him and Erik hang out. They're friends.
Oh, good.
That is how I am able to get such clarity with Erik because I knew Jay in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Like he's helping me to write this stuff and alter other stuff that I've had because Jay knows that I have them and they're very good friends. He tells me they're tight. He says.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They're tearing up heaven together.
Yeah. It's one big party up there. It sounds like. So he's saying, he helped me write this flower garden meditation, which is going to help you deepen. And then we're going to cross a bridge into the 5th dimension. Oh. And we're going to take our power back. And you're going to invite all of the people. And he says people at home should follow along with this too. But invite all of the people you've ever interacted with. Anyone, you know, from the person walking down the street that you exchanged a glance with, to close personal friends and families. And he says also anybody who people have been intimate with because you are connected to that person through intimacy.
Okay.
He's, so we'll do that. And I have done this or a similar version with some clients. And quite often they do see and hear Erik. So he's anticipating that that's going to happen.
Okay.
And then he says the second part of this, you know, we're going to do a little practicing with this meditation thing and hypnosis thing. But what he says is in, you know, the next few sessions, we talked about some things we were going to cover first. But he says what would be really fun is to start putting you in hypnosis. He'll have me do that. And then you'll just talk to Erik, and I'll interview you,
Oh.
and you can talk and spend time with Erik. He thinks this is like a 3-way phone conversation. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh my God. It might take a few times for me to, because, it's really hard for me to see and hear Erik because his energy is a little bit of a grief trigger, probably. I mean, that's probably why. But so it might not work the first time.
Right. Well, he's saying don't hold anything. Don't limit yourself by thinking that. But he's saying if it doesn't, it'll work the second or the third time.
Yeah, it's fine. No expectations. I'm open.
No expectations. That's what he says.
Okay.
Yeah, and he talks about that grief thing too, that yes, that is real, that you do block it because of fear of the pain. And he's telling me, like, I do the same thing myself. Like, sometimes I can channel Erik easier than Jay because I don't have pain of what happened associated with Erik like you do, but I have that pain with Jay. So sometimes it's really hard for me to listen to him just because there is some.
How can you not miss something like this?
I know.
All the memories, bad and good.
Yeah. But what he's saying, Mom, is this lifetime has been about doing this, and he's going to help you real quick.
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
So, do you have any questions about the disempowering or anything before we go into meditation?
No, let's go for it.
Okay, and then were you just going to separate them on your own?
No. Well,
wait. A 5-minute break and come back?
No, we don't need a 5-minute break. Are we about to start the second part then?
I'm good unless you have questions.
Is this the quantum part that you talked about?
The quantum part.
Okay, no, we'll end it. I'll stop the recording and then I'll restart it for the second part.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Okay. And I'm going to move my chair and I'm going to sit on the floor to do this.